I know that shopping at times can be very difficult, especially when you're trying to find out one little item that, you really liked and want to buy again. However, it might be helpful if you can actually remember what it was. Countless times I've had people on vacation down here in sunny and sweaty South Florida that often come from the Midwest, Michigan, Maine, wherever that isn't here, and they expect to find some item that they bought back home. Now, let's talk about item availability for a second here. Item availability sucks because the reason why it sucks is because it keeps wonderful items like Mountain Dew Live Wire out of my hands because they're not available in my area. So if I ever go on vacation out of the state, then I'll obviously be looking for them. But that's the issue. You may have a particular item that you like, but you go on vacation or you go somewhere else or you go to a completely different store and you can't find it. Now, that's acceptable, but here's the thing you have to understand. Not all stores and not all areas and not all demographics are going to have the same items. So even though you may come in looking for, some Nabisco cracker that you bought back home, just because they sell it back home in maybe even the same store. Let's say you're at a particular brand grocery store, company grocery store. Back home, that grocery store sells them. Well, that same chain store, wherever you're at, might not have it just because of product availability and that kind of thing like that. So that's fine. Perfectly excusable for you to ask. Now, here's the other side of the coin. I've had people that would come into my grocery store and ask me for a particular item. I say, well, here's the question I always ask. And here, for those of you who work in grocery stores or any other place like that, and people come up and ask for an item that you don't carry, please and always ask, as I do, where have you found it before? Now, this is where you learn a lot of things. Number one, you either learn that whether or not someone's on vacation in your particular area. Number two, you learn that they're a hippie. Or number three, you learn that they're an idiot. Let's take the first one. Usually, where did you buy it before? Well, back home and, insert state here. Okay, well, I've already explained why you can't find that item. Number two, hippies. I worked at a particular grocery chain. Okay? Regular grocery chain. Now, this customer would come in and say, do you have X thing? Asking for it by name. I look where it would logically be. I don't see it. I say, well, where have you found it before? Well, they have it at Whole Foods. And I'm like, did you happen to see the sign on the outside of the building? Because this is not, the hippie food emporium, okay? This is the store you walked into, okay? This is Publix, Winn-Dixie, Food Lion, Kroger, whatever. That we have no connection to Whole Foods. Why do you assume that if you find something at Whole Foods or Fresh Market or wherever it is that you buy your granola Krispies or your hemp cake or whatever, why do you assume that the grocery store is going to carry it? Now, first of all, it's a specialty shop. Whole Foods and wherever else you buy these things, they're a specialty shop. So they're going to have things that you won't be able to find in other places. That's why they're there, to provide those items to you, because you can't find them at your local Food Lion or your Kroger or wherever. So that's ridiculous. Now, here come the other people. The other people who usually are vacationing or they're condo hermits and they only come out once a month to forage for food, who have no idea what they're buying. And they try to describe it to you. Do you have this, it was like a small cracker and it wasn't salty, but it had like a flavor on it. And so like, well, do you remember the name of it? And I quote, no, but I buy it here all the time. Folks, there's not enough palms for my face. If you buy it all the time, why the smeg do you not know what it is? I honestly felt like saying, well, was it the big bag of dog crap? No, of course not. Well, how do you know what it was? If you buy it how do you buy something all the time and have no flipping idea what the heck it is? You just buy random stuff off the shelf and hope that it's edible? It doesn't make sense to me. And here's the thing, it's another thing that people on vacation, they experience this mental problem. They'll come in, well, I bought it last week. It's the first time you've been in this store. In this location. Where did you buy it at? Last week. Okay, what store did you buy? This one. You mean this one as in this chain? Or this particular location? I actually had this happen the other day. Where the guy was like, well, I bought it here a couple days ago. I'm like, okay. And then, like, somehow he ended up letting it slip that it wasn't actually him, but his wife that came and got the item. How can you stand there and assert that you bought something in a particular location? Now, I will give you a little bit of grain of shadow of a doubt here. It's possible the item was recently discontinued. The item was recently sold out, and there wasn't any left. But here's the thing. A small fraction of people who actually work grocery or work in the other areas like that actually know how to read shelf tags. And they know where items go. Now, this will be another video, but the number of these people are very, very low. Okay? However, there are some like me who actually know what they're doing and know how to read shelf tags and, know where items are in the store locations. So, if I look in the area that it will logically be in your whatever item you're looking for, and I read the tags, that tag is not there, that means we don't sell it. Yet, I still have people adamantly, argumentatively, yellingly, if that's a word, tell me, no, I bought it here yesterday. I bought it, da-da-da. First of all, if there's a particular item that you cannot remember the name of, even though you buy it all the time, save the container. Do me that favor. Just do for Ox Bigley, for Chuck. Come on, do it for me. Save the container, okay? When hold on. When you run out of your favorite cereal and you want to go get more, and if you don't remember the name of it, do one of two things: either bring the empty container with you, or write it down. Now, I know some of you have problems with reading already, so maybe writing isn't something you know how to do. Fine, I understand this. For those of you who happen to have this problem with not knowing what you're buying, and if you happen to have a smartphone, which wouldn't surprise me in the least, take a picture of the item. Google it. Find a picture. Show it to me. So that way I can see that whether or not you're full of snot or whether or not you're just in the wrong geographical location. And also, just because a particular companies, says that their products are available at these retailers doesn't mean that they are available at every single location of these retailers. I've had situations where I've found an item, really cool looking item, food item online. Okay, well, it's sold here. I went to my local one. They've never heard of it. Now, I could be an idiot and, the website said you guys sell it. Why don't you have it? Again, rewind to the beginning of the video. Item is geographical demographics. Okay? I'll speak slower. Geographical demographics. Product availability is sometimes, unfortunately, restricted to the location that you are in. There are a lot of things that go into that. It could be the supplier, could be the warehouse, could be actual person demographics that, okay, well, this is a heavily this is an area that's heavily populated by a Spanish community. Okay, well, we're going to have more Spanish-themed items, or we're going to have more, Chinese or Asian, foods in other places will, because, well, that's our demographic, and we want to make money, so we want to, we don't want people to go to a specialty store and pay less money. We want them to come here for the convenience and charge them for it. Yes, that's unfair, but unfortunately, that's what you got to deal with now. So these are the reasons. Now, if you still want to assert that, you bought this yesterday or whatever, be specific. Tell me whether or not it was at that location, or whether or not it was at that chain but in another location. Because I've even had issues where within the same city, one item will be available at one store and it will not be available at the other. Same chain, same city, or within one city of each other, item will not be available. Fortunately, this is what you have to deal with. You have to call around, unfortunately, or because granted, the websites are not going to tell you exactly which locations will have which particular item. Or look, I mean, sometimes now, granted, let's say that there's a particular variation of an item. Let's say, I had Fruit Brute, but I wanted Count Chocula. Well, let's say they only had Fruit Brute, but they didn't have Count Chocula. Sometimes if you can find a barcode, or if you have an old box, or canister, or jar, or whatever of the item that you want, sometimes you can go into the store, talk to the store manager or the grocery manager, and say, hey, I have this, jar of goodness here that I would like to have more of. I'll buy a whole case or whatever else. Could you get it in? And a lot of times they will be able to do that. A lot of times they'll be able to. Now, I cannot speak for every single chain and every single store and every single location out there in the universe. Okay, I don't know how Tesco's handles their stuff. I don't know how Food Lion handles. I don't know everything. Okay, so your mileage will vary, but it's worth a shot. And at least if you can't, then unfortunately do like I do. Go on eBay or Amazon and order 12 case of Mountain Dew Live Wire for $25, because Pepsi's a bunch of morons and don't like to actually make money. Anyway, if you are a retail drone and you happen to agree with the things I've said, then please comment, favorite, and subscribe to this video and channel. And if you think I'm full of crap, and if you think everything I said was rude and hurtful and hateful and bigoted, then you only serve to prove me right. Thanks for watching.